Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan,
Eric.
And this is the Captain's Log. Eric and I are going to talk for the next half an hour about as much news as humanly possible. And Eric, I think this time we will start from the beginning instead of the end of the news. We do have a ton, we're not going to get to all of it, but we will tackle, if we don't have too much news we've already accumulated next time, we'll just tackle some more of it later.
Sure.
So it won't be as newsworthy, it won't be as new news. Robert Abbott had a question in the letters pages, and I thought I would just go ahead and read it here because it's news that I forgot to put in this, so we'll just start with it.
Okay.
It is more recent. What do you guys think about Hulu talking about reviving the Marvel Netflix shows, and what are your hopes for possible following seasons of each show? I mean, when hell freezes over, I just don't see it happening.
So there's two things to that. One, I didn't really hear that. Two, they can't.
I don't think so either.
Because
unless there's a new development on this, all I have heard is that Hulu has said they want them.
Okay,
that's all I've heard.
Okay, because my understanding is that the contract that Marvel has with Netflix is like, once Netflix stops making these, Disney can't do anything with the properties for 3 years.
So there's no way that
they cannot start production for another 3 years.
And if that happens, like, who knows where all those actors that were under contract and no longer are will be? Like, you probably have to recast them.
And as we talked about while we were watching, I think we talked about with season 3. Netflix rehires a lot. Like, there are Netflix actors.
Yes.
You're potentially asking them to
leave Netflix?
Yeah, and
there's
keep
no
doing
way
the thing that Netflix canceled.
And I would be surprised if Hulu can pay them what Netflix is paying them.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially for Daredevil, because it was apparently like their second or third highest rated show.
So yeah, I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really want to talk about possible seasons and stuff because we want to do news and keep moving. But like, it's a pipe dream. I don't see that happening unless there's a new development about it that I don't know about. But that's
someone on Daredevil came out and said like the idea for season 4 was amazing.
Yeah, well, they said they were ready. They had it all on the walls. They said like we had to storyboard it out. We were ready to go. Or storyboarded, outlined out. Yeah, it really is. And Punisher the Punisher creators were, I think, a little bit sillier because, like, I don't know why they would think that they would have thought there was the possibility that they would come back.
It was weird.
One of the things on my list, I'll just mention it now because it's not even. I don't think this is news. I think we all knew this. They're like, it's just now we have it definitely confirmed, but like the other day, it was like, oh, and by the way, Netflix has canceled Punisher and Jessica Jones. I'm glad that they didn't wait until after Jessica Jones dropped to finally say that, but like, duh. And so the Punisher the producers, that team, they were like, well, we're ready to go if we get. I'm like, you're not gonna get more. Sorry, guys, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like Daredevil,
in the real world.
Yeah, Daredevil was the most popular thing and one of the most popular Netflix shows still, by far, right?
Mm-hmm. And season 2, I think, was the highest rated, most viewed like Netflix show.
Was it?
Up until like something else, but like it was for a while.
Yeah, if the thing you got spun off from that has remained that popular is done, you guys are done. I'm sorry, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have gotten excited about more of that show without Daredevil. Like,
yeah. Like,
sorry, it would have just been weird and depressing. Even if that happened, that was never going to happen. Okay, so apparently Warner Brothers is gonna make a Funko Pop movie. This seems inevitable to me. I'm not totally surprised by that. It'll be interesting to see what properties they're able to put all together and who exactly plays ball. The Disney people won't, because they don't with Lego.
Okay, so I told you earlier that there's going to be a thing we strongly disagree on. I think this is awful.
Well,
I think this is pop cultural cannibalism.
No, I'm somewhat indifferent about this. We are not going to lose a friendship over this. No, you see, I think this is unfair that you're making an assumption about me with this. Okay,
but you seemed excited when we talked about it.
Did I?
Yeah, you're like, oh, Warner Bros. Make a pop movie. I said somebody was going to do it.
No,
but maybe you're just excited that you were right.
Yeah, no, it was inevitable. I knew this was going to happen. It's happening. No, now let me say, I've said this before. I would be stoked beyond belief if somebody announced a Funko Pop fighting game. I would just lose my mind.
Sure.
That would be so exciting. But a movie. I don't know. I can't get super excited about that because I assume it's going to be super cutesy. And like you can say that about the Lego movie, but like it ended up being something real special, and also like they had some street cred with me because of the direct-to-video stuff and video games that I have liked from them. Funko doesn't have a track record for anything but making action figures.
Okay, so here's my thing.
Yeah.
Legos are something.
Yeah.
They are toys. You do things with Legos, and you can build narratives with Legos, and there's an inherent building metaphor you can build on. Pops are only product. They are product. They're cool product, like you know, like I'm not knocking the product, but they are product. They are not art.
Yeah,
in that, it's not like a narrative.
Like a really little kid will find fun ways to play with them, but they're not even posable. Like,
they're not posable, and you can't play with them that much because they scuff easy.
Yeah.
Making a movie, I think, is pop cultural cannibalism, and I'm getting tired of it.
No, I'm not surprised you're saying that.
And so when we talked about this when you first announced it, you were like, so the Lego Movie is like the modern Roger Rabbit. And I was like, yeah, I agree with that. And I thought about it, and I don't. You know why I don't agree with that?
The only thing I meant by that. No, you go ahead and say.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
So here's the thing that when I started thinking about the Pop movie that really made me angry, because with Pop and Lego and kind of Ready Player One, we are ruining the idea of it being cool when things come together, and
just by doing it.
Yes, because it's not. You're
saying we're doing it too much.
Yes. So when it actually happens, it won't be special and cool.
No, it won't.
Because what these aren't are those franchises meeting. Because you're not getting that. You are getting jokey, watered-down versions of. It's not actually Batman meeting Lambda.
No,
it's a comedy version of Batman. It's not the same as Roger Rabbit. Roger Rabbit was Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny as themselves in one place. When that finally happens, when we finally get an actual crossover like this, it won't be as big as it should be because we're doing this to death, and I'm really not happy we're making fun. It's like making a McFarlane Toys movie, or like a NECA movie.
Yeah, I said that in where it's like, well, here's all these properties that
all these license
or an IDW movie.
Yeah,
it would be like that.
Yeah,
it's like you had although.
But these IDW has takes on those things.
Although I could be more excited about that.
Yeah,
you're right. I mean, anytime.
No, these are just figures.
There have been cool crossovers they've done, and they have tried to cross a bunch of properties over with.
Well, and those would be for the most part the authentic representations of those characters.
They would be, yeah.
I don't expect I'll be blown away if the Pop movie is like, yeah, look, it's cutesy. But these are the characters you know. It is Batman, and it is Doc Brown, and it is.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be that, and I think it's obnoxious, and I also think the Pop thing's starting to die down. Anecdotally, it feels like the Pop thing's starting to die down.
This will even perform.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone wants this. I don't think anyone. And it was like, God, I wish we made a movie.
The only way I would be impressed is if. Because Pop has amazingly managed to be able to pay for all of those different licenses, if somehow they get the ability to put everything on screen that they own, that will be, just from a business standpoint, impressive. I don't mean that the movie's going to be necessarily good, or I understand you're what you're worried about with it, but nobody's been able to get Disney and Warner's to play ball since Roger Rabbit. And when I said that the Lego movie is the modern Roger Rabbit, what I meant was more superficially that it is the closest thing we've had to getting a bunch of different companies to get together and play ball.
Well, I guess Ready Player One.
And even there, yes, but it's a cartoon.
Yes.
That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. I didn't think that thought through all that
much.
And you gotta bring things into the video. Private conversations. No, it's totally fine. But I know you're right. Ready Player One is closer, and it got more things to play ball. But and
you got to see actually those things. It wasn't
the first Lego movie.
It wasn't it destroyed. It was the DeLorean.
The first Lego movie did get Star Wars.
It did, and I don't know how that happened
in one scene, and I don't know how they managed it.
The only thing
it doesn't feel like it would ever happen. And there's even a joke about in Lego Movie 2 about how Marvel won't return their calls. You remember that?
Yeah, and I don't think there's any Star Wars in that.
No, there's not.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
Is Lego Movie pre-Disney buying Star Wars, or is it early? Is it pre-Force Awakens?
It's 2014.
It might be pre-Force Awakens.
Yeah,
maybe they're not being as.
I think maybe it is.
But that's the other thing about the Pop movie is you're also going. It's Warner Brothers again. You're going to continue to not get any of the Disney things. You're not going to have Marvel. You're not going to have Star Wars. It's going to be a Lego movie again, but probably not as good.
That's why. Yeah, the thing I'm like. Forget whether or not this is a good idea. The most irritating thing about it to me is the studio making it, because Warner's already has Lego Movie. They already have the like cutesy kid crossover thing, and now they're gonna do it with Pop. Like, it feels redundant to me. Like if Disney got that license, I would maybe be a little bit more interested in it, just because, hear me out, they have more things they can draw from, especially after Fox.
Yeah.
Now
they all have to be bobbleheads.
If it's in.
They're all the bobblehead Pops.
That would be amazing, though. I want that to be a joke in the movie. The things that have to be bobbleheads. I hope they do that joke, though. That would be really funny. There is potential, maybe, for something fun here, but I do understand your complaints. I don't completely disagree.
I'm gonna be angry if it's big, because it's just, I don't know, something about it. Like when you told me that, like, the more I thought about it, I was like, this is crossing a line. We're ruining everything. We can't be satisfied with anything. We have to smash it all together. But when we smash it all together, it's never the things that it was in the first place. And everyone goes, "Oh my God, it's those things!"
You wouldn't be as annoyed about it if, like, again, real things crossed over more often and they were good. Like, you're not angry they're doing the Batman Ninja Turtles movie.
No, I'm excited about that.
That's a thing that I'm
because it's going to be Batman, it's going to be Ninja Turtles, and they're going to cross over. But also, I am burned out on it in comics and stuff. Like, I'm tired of crossovers.
Crossovers, yeah. But we haven't seen this too much yet with movies, and so it's kind of fun that we're going to get that. We can go ahead and talk about that now.
But Pop isn't actually that, right? And that's so. Yeah, no, but put it on my tombstone or whatever. Like pop cultural cannibalism is what I'm going to say this movie is. Just on the outset of, like, premise wise, I'm like, oh no, this is bad.
Yeah, and the name of the thing is Funko Pop, you know.
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and talk about the Batman Ninja Turtles crossover?
Do we know anything beyond that picture? Because I didn't actually look into it.
I'll check and see if there's any more details. That's all I saw.
Yeah, because I like the look of the turtles.
I think they look. I told you this. I think they look a little bit like if Mike Mignola drew Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
In the face, especially the way the faces are.
I'm really excited to have a blue caped Batman with a yellow circle.
We haven't done that.
But the cape's off his shoulders and the bat's a little small, if I have to critique it. But no, I'm excited about that. That seems awesome.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a. It definitely looks like decent character models and like the animation could be
I'm hoping
good.
it's a more serious thing. I'm hoping it's not like 66 meets 87, which I guess would be fine, but like I'm hoping it's something more akin to like animated series meets 03.
Yeah, because like that the design of Batman, like. Oh, and I forgot, they've also got Batgirl and Robin there, and it's the current Batgirl costume.
And the current Damon Robin. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's Damon, because we've used that costume for other people before.
That's true, yeah.
But Batman looks like he'd go either way. That looks like that could be a straight take on Batman, or a more brave and boldy take. But maybe it's because that's kind of what brave and bold looks like, so I don't know. But no, I think it looks good, I'm excited. And blew my mind that was happening. I was like, wait, really?
Troy Baker's coming back?
As Batman?
And the Joker.
Interesting.
That's fun, because he's done them both. It'll be cool to see him do them in the same movie. Oh, I like that. That's awesome.
Is it...
Tara Strong is coming in for Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy.
Okay.
Let's see...
Do we know the Turtles?
Just that Eric Bauza from the Woody Woodpecker Show, I don't know who that is, as Leonardo, and Kyle Mooney as Michelangelo. So people I don't know.
Yeah, and the Turtles don't need to be people.
They usually...
Do we know if this is direct-to-video or if it's theatrical? I assumed theatrical, but then I was like, but maybe not.
No, it's not theatrical. I think it's I think it's Nickelodeon?
It's exciting.
I forget.
Oh, is it going to be on TV?
Let me see. Or just Nickelodeon putting it out on... I'm looking. I'm actually not sure where it's happening. Yeah. No, it's direct-to-video.
Okay.
Honestly, just based on that.
It's interesting and exciting. It's interesting and exciting to have an animated Turtles thing that's not based on whatever's going on right now.
Because we've never seen that.
Yeah, like, it's like it's original Turtles. Like we've done that.
The only time we've really had that is 07, I guess, is TMNT.
Yeah, but that was theatrical.
Yeah,
like that was supposed to be the next franchise.
Right.
Like this is the beginning of. Yeah,
this would be the beginning.
It's interesting. I think it's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I hope it's not too kiddie. I feel like that could go either way. Like it's fine if it is. Like if it's for kids, but like I would love something that's like around the like Batman the Animated Series in 03.
I expected it to be another Brave and the Bold movie.
Yeah.
And it's kind of neat that it's not, although that wouldn't have been terrible either.
No.
Because those guys can write, and that Scooby-Doo movie was very good. It was really fun. And they like to cross things over, with that. So that would have made sense. And at first when I looked at that costume, oh, it's Brave and the Bold. And then it's not Brave and the Bold. And so, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm very excited about that. What else? Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. I said I was gonna start at the beginning of this list, and usually this list is in the order of stuff as they happen.
We jumped around because things were connected.
No, I put a few things at the beginning because I wanted to make sure we talked about them.
Oh, okay.
So, now I don't usually talk about rumors, but sometimes this kind of thing turns out to be true, so I will briefly mention it in case anybody cares about our mentioning it. But the rumored. Supposedly leaked, but rumored, episode 9 title is Balance of the Force. Have you heard about this?
No.
So, we'll see if that actually ends up being the title, but...
I'm willing to bet money it's not the title.
Okay.
You do not have... You don't have two movies in the same trilogy that have the word Force in it.
I wouldn't think so either.
But, I mean, Last Jedi's basically the laziest title it could have possibly been.
So
maybe.
Yeah. No, I think it would be nuts if two of those titles had Force in them. That was exactly my thought, yeah. So, I hope not, and I think that's a really generic title.
Yeah. I mean, but they've all been. Force Awakens ends up being generic. It's not inherently, but like they don't do anything with that title, so it is generic.
And also, it's just we've gotten away, and this happened a long time ago, but we've gotten away from the kinds of titles that you would have had, for like pulp sci-fi movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everyone snickered at Attack of the Clones, but I don't hate that title. But like
it is a little silly, but
so what's Empire Strikes Back? Empire Strikes Back is a silly title.
The reason it's sillier than Attack of the Clones is because
not as silly as Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. The reason the reason it's not as silly as Attack of the Clones, in my opinion, is because people saw that title and didn't know what the Clone Wars was. If that's your third movie, people wouldn't have thought it was as silly, but they didn't know what the clone thing. That's stupid.
I'm just talking about as a title. Because people like that sounds like a B movie. I'm like, yeah, but they always kind of did that.
See, I don't think so though. Like it's not about looking like a B movie. It's about looking like a pulp movie. It's a little different. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's pulp before it's cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like I still think inherently it's silly until you know what the Clone Wars is.
Well, but also...
So I think inherently it is too silly of a title.
I feel like the people... I don't want to get off the Star Wars thing, but I feel like the people making Star Wars don't know that Star Wars is drawing from serials.
No, I don't think they do either, and that's my point.
Yeah, because none of these sound like titles that... They don't feel Star Wars-y. They just don't.
Yeah.
That's a terrible title. I hope that's not the title.
No, it seems like it always has to be the something of the something, or the something does the something, or...
We haven't even had a of the. Have you thought about that? So we have Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi. We have no of those yet. But I'm expecting an of the.
That's probably partly why people are buying into this.
Yeah.
Because this is an of the.
Yeah, balance of the Force.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the Force balanced.
We haven't talked about the Blumhouse Universal Monsters thing, so we should talk about that.
I'm very excited.
I mean, you brought it up in GNN, but we haven't talked about it here. So,
so to reiterate what I said on GNN, if you're just watching this part.
And the news is they're starting with Invisible Man. I think we knew about Blumhouse a little bit, but we haven't really talked about it. But Invisible Man is the first thing.
So I've always felt that there are two ways to do the Universal Monsters. One of them is to be kind of safe and kid-friendly the way those movies are, and just kind of do like a gothic horror thing, or to try and redo what they are in the first place, which is the most scary things that are on screen. And I've always wanted to see that. I don't know if they'll be R, but I hope they are. I guess a lot of Blumhouse's are PG-13 horror movies.
Yeah.
I want an R version of the Universal Monsters.
I don't agree with that at all.
No. Okay.
I don't. Because I don't think those things they can be moody and creepy, and they can push the envelope close to R as far as they can push it. But I think you can have your cake and eat it too on this. We talked about this in GNN, but I'm hearing people say that like the reason the Universal Monsters can't be popular again is because if you make them like you did then, they're not scary, and you have to like push really violent envelopes these days to be scary. I don't think they need to do that. I think they can be like moody, and they can be in the horror genre, and still you can take your 10 or 11-year-olds to them. Like, I think they should make those kinds of movies. Well, I think that could be really I think it'd be accessible and make a lot of money and not have to be a superhero movie.
I agree. I think you could do it either way, because I think that's what the Universal Monster movies are.
Yeah.
But when they came out, they weren't.
No, that's true.
When they came out, they were pushing the envelopes of horror, and they were the scariest things people had seen, and people were like, it's not okay you're making these.
The argument I'm making is that the dog has been chasing his tail for horror movies for so long that that's not possible now.
Sure.
I don't think you can do those authentically and not accidentally make, like, a dumb, boring jump scare movie, or, like, that's my fear with that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I go back and forth. Like, I don't think there's...
You could make it too scary psychologically, and you know what I mean. That kind of, but like they shouldn't be like super gory, bloody affairs.
Oh no, I'm not saying they should, but I still think you should have the ability to go to more violent places. I'm not saying you should.
An adult subject matter.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You should be able to talk about sex in a Dracula movie.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to, but like, I think the Universal Monster movies like that.
You could also talk about sex in a PG-13 movie. So I like.
But I mean, I'm more sensually, I don't know.
The point I'm trying to make... Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think if Shyamalan can get away with what he gets away with in PG-13 movies, these movies can be exactly what you want and not be rated R.
No, I think you're right. I'm not saying that they have to be R.
Okay, I didn't mean to start an argument then.
No. I think the Universal Monsters like Batman, I think they can be anything.
Yeah, sure.
Once Blumhouse got it, I just assumed that they would be doing R-rated horror, especially because the Upgrade guy's doing it, and I think that's an R-rated
And have they said for sure that this will be a shared universe?
No, but I do hope it is.
Do you?
Just because they were the first one, and I like the connective tissue. It doesn't need to be like Marvel. You don't have to be building to a Monster Avengers.
You don't want to get to the end of the credits and you're setting something up.
No, but I want to go back to... like, almost like how Kevin Smith did his universe. Like, there's just little references and things, like, that they're in the same universe.
Actually, more like early Marvel, like Stan Lee Marvel, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you need a doctor, you call up Jekyll, you know, that kind of thing.
I like that, and I want to be able to get to Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, or something like that. I want them to be able to cross. I don't need that, but, like, I would like it if they were kind of in the same universe. But Invisible Man's...
Actually, Jekyll Hyde's not one of those, is it?
Not really, but I think there could be, like, a case made.
Okay.
But he's not one of, like, the iconics. He's not one of the, like, big 6 or 7.
Okay.
Invisible Man's an interesting choice because I would have liked if they start with Dracula, because it starts with Dracula, and we haven't had a straight Dracula movie since... I think Dracula 2000 is the last time we kind of attempt to adapt that story. Like, in the mainstream, I know Argento did, like, his Dracula stuff, but, like, in the mainstream, I think... We haven't had a straight Dracula movie in about 20 years.
I also think, business-wise, it's smart not to start there.
Because we did Dracula Untold... Because the thing is, I think the three...
It seems like every few years one comes out and people are like, Dracula, who cares? Like, they need to start with one that is
hasn't been done
that we haven't done in a long time, and that maybe some people wouldn't have even thought of or haven't heard of.
You can't do The Mummy because they just failed with The Mummy. You could probably get away with The Wolfman, but I think people still think about that Wolfman from the late 2000s.
Yep.
And
also, werewolves have just never been popular.
And we have done a couple of Frankenstein movies. Like, Invisible Man and Creature from the Black Lagoon are kind of the only two choices, I think, for a fresh pick. And Invisible Man hasn't been done 10,000 times. You can do something new.
Also, do we know for sure it's present day?
No. I don't think we know anything.
Are you making that assumption?
No.
Okay. I can see it going either way, but...
I would prefer if it wasn't, honestly.
Me too, but I'm leaning toward they'll probably make it present day, but maybe not.
I would like a real gothic horror, and I mean, they do those Conjuring movies, and those aren't present day.
That's true. That's your point.
I would like them to be straight gothic horror with, like, castles and
this is the nice thing.
I want villagers with pitchforks.
Yeah. This is the nice thing about that studio, is they'll make anything.
But I also don't immediately hate a modern take.
Okay.
I'm...
So you're not out if they say
No, I trust them to some degree, especially because they put the Upgrade guy, and you said that was a really good, smart movie. So
yeah, it's great. You got to watch it.
Yeah. So I'm down. I'm down. I hope it's good.
This is one of those things. Okay, so
I want Universal Monsters to be the new every October thing.
Yeah. We've only got like 6 minutes,
Sorry.
so no, you're fine. So, but I just want to knock a couple more things out real quick, and I may skip around actually. I haven't looked into this. This is one of those things that I just wrote down and I forgot to look into. So if you read about it, tell me what you know. But otherwise, we'll just skip over it. But there's apparently a new animated Batman Beyond movie in development. Did you hear about that?
I heard that they were talking about one. Is it like official? Well, someone sent me a thing that said Batman Beyond movie, and I was like, "Oh, but it's animated. Like that's cool, but that's not.
Yeah.
That's not what it sounded like."
Yeah, exactly.
That's exciting. Because
I don't know anything about it though, so I just wanted to put
the comics have been the comics.
Yeah.
And half
And
continuations
by-
of the animated series and half continuations of the current universe.
I know, and then the new series, which has gone on for a long time now, written by the last guy on Earth, I would think you'd want to put on Batman.
Yeah, I wouldn't think
Dan Jurgens, and he's been doing it for. It's weird, and I have talked to people that swear by that, but I can't imagine that I would like it. But I haven't looked at it.
Outside of that, is it Beechin that writes the early stuff?
Yes.
Outside of that stuff,
really
it's never felt right.
Yeah.
It's always been.
And even the end of his tenure seems off. But some of that's just because of the format they stuck him in.
I didn't know he was writing that stuff. I only read the issues. I didn't read the digital stuff.
He was. I actually interviewed him when he was starting that with Brayfogle. That was the whole reason I got him in. And then he got me to Brayfogle, and I talked to Brayfogle.
Yeah, I didn't read that digital stuff. I didn't realize that was still him.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that's
if memory serves, it's been a million years.
That's exciting. I hope it's good.
Yeah, me too.
I hope it's not like Batman meets Harley Quinn.
Okay, let me actually go ahead and go to the bottom. War for Cybertron is going to be a trilogy of animated movies on Netflix starting next year that finally chronicles. I mean, it's not set in any particular Transformers universe that we've had before.
But it's the Cybertron War.
But they are going to chronicle the Cybertron War,
That's
and
exciting.
I am stoked about that.
It is that thing.
They're bringing back a bunch of voice alum from different things.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It is that thing that Transformers does for some reason. We're like,
Well, I say voice alum. Maybe it's just like producers and writers from different series. Now that I'm saying that, yeah, one of them is one of the Transformers animated people, but they're going to lots of different people. So
Transformers has this real weird thing that it does, where it does the same thing across all its mediums. So like for a while, you could not escape Unicron. And then in all of the continuities, Cybertron was destroyed and they couldn't go back to it. Like, we've done this a couple of times, but we know the IDW is restarting and they're also chronicling the Cybertron in War.
That's fine.
But no,
so now we're finally doing it. That's all everyone's doing.
Yeah, that's all we're doing for a while. I guess we did those video games a couple of years ago that people really liked. I'm excited. I hope it's good. I assume being on Netflix, it will be like a hard PG, if not a full-blown PG-13.
I would imagine PG-13, yeah.
But that's exciting. I hope it's...
Well, you can get away with so much with robots.
And animated. God, they could just be straight up just like cutting each other's heads off and it's fine.
Oil splashing out everywhere.
It's all right.
They're robots.
And they're cartoon robots. Who cares?
By definition, there can't be humans in this movie, so we're good.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. That's very exciting.
Okay. Nickelodeon
and Hasbro dealing with Netflix makes me excited. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I want to see Netflix do G.I. Joe. I'd love to see Netflix do Dungeons and Dragons. Like,
oh, that's a good point. Is like you're setting a price. Well, and you know what I want? I want animated Power Rangers.
I really want you to say ROM.
Yeah. I want the ROM Power Rangers crossover.
Oh, that'd be amazing! They're perfect for each other. But yeah, no, Netflix will be amazing for like after they finish Voltron, like get those people on Power Rangers. Like, sure.
Nickelodeon has announced a, get this, 4 kids animated Star Trek series. What? Okay.
Well, because they're making a not for kids, a live action Star Trek series, they have to make it for kids.
It's really curious that it's on Nickelodeon, and this is the first thing outside of CBS that has been announced for Star Trek.
Oh, because they're under Viacom.
Yeah,
Paramount.
Which is interesting because that means it's the that would be the first thing that Paramount has made outside of the Abrams movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's really weird that they're doing that. But I didn't think they had the rights to make television. I thought they had to make films. I didn't think they could do television. So that's weird. I don't understand
Maybe they
that.
can do animation.
I'm not trusting any announcements right now about Star Trek. Mostly because, well, at least from CBS. This is curious. The fact that it's Nickelodeon gives it more clout. Weirdly, because it feels like CBS just keeps announcing stuff in order to make Star Trek look relevant, and a lot of stuff that's likely to not actually happen. The Picard show has a writing room, and it has a date. Like, it's going to be the end of this year. That is definitely happening. That's been greenlit. It's getting put together. We've got pictures of the writing room. We know that's happening. So that I trust that. But they've announced that Michelle Yeoh Mirror Universe series, and I don't believe we will ever see that because they immediately said, oh, and like a few days after that was announced. Oh, and by the way, it's going to be a long time before that happens. I think it's very likely Discovery gets canceled prematurely, and then they'll never make that show. And they just keep announcing random shows. I think they're doing that out of desperation.
And we also know that what's his name wrote the entire script for the 4-hour miniseries for the Khan show, and they say it was too expensive.
Yeah, and also, originally the Picard show was announced as if it was going to be an ongoing series, and now they're saying miniseries, but maybe we'll get more, you know what I mean? So, like...
We might do a sequel.
The thing is, they don't have money. Netflix bankrolled their whole first season, and then when it didn't do great, Netflix was like, yeah, we're not giving you anything. And so they had to bankroll most of the second season. And so they're hurting for money, and the only reason they're still making that show is because they put all their eggs in that basket for CBS All Access. That's the only reason they made that show in the first place, because the former head of CBS doesn't care about Star Trek, doesn't like science fiction.
Thought it was Star Wars.
And thought it was Star Wars, but he's out now because of sexual allegations and stuff, and there's nobody there that's taken over that gets or really cares about Star Trek. So, anyway,
and Twilight Zone's coming to CBS All Access, and that might displace it.
Yeah,
and that's Jordan Peele, and I assume that's the Jordan Peele show.
I believe it is, yeah.
Because he was announced that he was doing a new Twilight Zone. I assume that he's still...
No, it's. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, so that's exciting. I like him.
You know, as long as they don't, tie their hands behind their backs like CBS did with Star Trek.
Yeah.
But anyway, I take this with a grain of salt to some degree, but again, Nickelodeon, that's curious. They don't tend to announce things that don't happen.
No.
But my big thing is, what children care about Star Trek?
Well, maybe that's the point.
Trying to get them into it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have put it on like Netflix or something. But maybe it'll go to Netflix, after it airs on Nickelodeon. But yeah, maybe they're and it might be they might try to make a thing that is sort of in the vein of something like Carmen Sandiego or something, where it looks real like kind of kiddie and kitschy, but it's maybe like a little bit smarter, So like it would be really funny and ironic if it ended up being the best Star Trek thing we've had in a long time, because that is possible.
Yeah.
And Nickelodeon is hit and miss in their content. I don't like the Ninja Turtles they're making right now, but I really like the 2012 show. So the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm thinking there could be hope for something decent here.
Yeah. As long as it's not a comedy show.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nuts if the adult comedy show was just like unwatchable and this ended up being great?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nuts?
Yep.
Anyway, anything else that we just absolutely have to bring up right now? We are out of time. The Jared Leto Joker movies are no longer happening.
Oh,
most certainly for sure. And Margot Robbie is not in Suicide Squad 2 or Gotham City Sirens.
Because Suicide Squad 2 is now a reboot, and
yes.
It's weird that she's not going to be Gotham City Sirens, but she is in... She's going to ruin Birds of Prey.
And the Birds of Prey movie is the Harley Quinn movie. So she has stuck around because she was the reason that movie made money. But they are, in my opinion, very smartly rebooting Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I think that's intelligent. I think that's what they should be doing. And I also understand trying to have their cake and eat it too. I also understand not getting rid of Robbie and putting her somewhere. I don't understand.
But it should have been Gotham City Sirens.
Yeah, it should have been. But if Gotham City Sirens is like so many of these things just kind of set in its own continuity, and they're not worried about continuity, except for within itself if it gets sequels, it could be something way more traditional comic book, with a more traditional Harley Quinn. Now, if we find out that Gotham City Sirens doesn't have Harley Quinn in it, that will blow my mind.
Yeah.
That is very strange. That is a triad. You need all three of them. That's the point of it. If they make it Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and, like, who else? Like, it would just be really weird if it was somebody else.
I can't think of a third. Talia? No, because that's not really the right dynamic. Joker's daughter.
Oh, don't even say that. That's awful. Just running around with a
She's a Nightwing this week.
Oh, great. We're keeping her around. That's
She's got Joker's face. You remember when Joker used to have his face off? She's got Joker's face.
Well, that's what she's always had.
No, like in her hand. Like Joker's face from, like, Death of the Family.
But I thought that's what she was wearing in the first place. Like, that's her That's her whole shtick.
Oh, is that what she has in New 52?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he took his face off, and then she found it and put it on herself.
That's the origin for Joker's daughter in New 52?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not what she used to be.
No, she's a completely different character.
Right.
Okay. No, and she's awful.
Okay.
No, it's the worst. It's one of the worst things in 52.
Okay.
But anyway, no, I was thinking somebody like Who's that Superman villain that's like a ghosty looking face chick who's like a Supergirl villain a lot of the time?
Oh,
Silver Banshee. Silver Banshee.
Oh, sorry.
That was the first thing I thought of. Was like, well, what if Gotham City Sirens was them and Silver Banshee?
Oh, see, I thought you were talking about Livewire because she's the original girl creation for Superman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't have a ghosty face.
Well, she's all pale. So yeah.
Oh, you thought that's what I was talking about, anyway. So I'm glad that they're not doing Joker, Jared Leto movies. It's still dumb that they keep announcing stuff. Because
but don't worry,
this is not surprising to anyone. Oh yes, half the movies you said you were making, you're not making anymore.
But you know what? Two things. One, don't worry, because I know you're upset, but he's going to bring the same level of dedication and craft to the Morbius movie.
Oh, good.
But also, I appreciate.
Do you think he'll send jars of blood to people on the set?
I think that shows. I think the behind the scenes is gonna be like a horror show. Like I think it could go real bad. Like hearing what he did with the Joker, now he's playing someone that like murders people for life. Like it can be bad.
Being a vampire.
But no. I appreciate.
Do you think he'll have suckers in his hands where he sucks plasma out of people?
I mean, maybe that's the only way you can get PG-13.
No. Okay.
I appreciate that they're officially canceling it.
Yes.
Because there are so many of these where we're like,
it's getting
is it still getting made? Are you doing that?
Yeah, because it makes it more credible. It doesn't make it more credible when they announce things, but it makes you believe that it is possible that they are. That
they have a film slate?
Yeah, because like the Joker movie, initially it was really easy to say the one that they're actually making to be like, we'll see that, we'll believe that when we see it. They fast tracked it very quickly. We bought that they were making it.
That is this
so, like,
year, right?
That is this year. So like. I believe them when they say they think they're making things, and I believe that things that like, I think a third of everything they announce doesn't get made. Maybe half. But I think a third of everything they announce doesn't get made.
But I don't know if that's going to be true moving forward.
I don't either.
We'll see.
Still in a weird limbo place with them, but it's looking better. It's looking potentially better. Very curious about that Joker movie. But I don't think that everything lives and dies by it. I think that it could be terrible and they're okay. I just hope they know that. I hope that they don't start changing everything again when that doesn't.
We're wrong. DCEU
does exist. We made one that was completely out of it. Oh, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. That should not happen.
Well, I hope Shazam's coming up for it.
No, it doesn't.
No?
Because Shazam has references to the DCEU. They are still in a place where if they put out Joker is important because they need to not backpedal. So like I said, I don't think it all lives and dies by that movie, but I don't know that they'll know that because they've never learned their lesson on this.
Yep. No, you're right.
Ever.
You're right.
That is an important. The one thing about it, that is a very important film. So now I hope it does gangbusters, no matter what it's like, so that they'll keep doing it. Even if it sucks, but people like it, I don't care. It needs to make $1 billion. Because then they'll keep doing what they're doing, which is what they need to do.
And they'll make smaller budget movies, and be more experimental. And
so everyone support that movie, even if it's impossible to sit through and you want to leave the theater. It's important. Go. Give it money.
Yeah. If you like DC, and you want more DC movies.
Yeah, sure, yeah. If you want good DC movies, because even if this is terrible, this is the way we get good DC movies, because I don't trust that they won't turn tail and start back where they were before. I don't trust it. Okay, anyway. Thanks again for watching the letters page, or the Captain's Log, folks. We're going to go on now.
Letters pages next.
To the letters pages. That's what we're about to do. That is the final segment, as always, of course, on the Geekvolution Omnibus. We're going to talk for a few minutes about stuff that you guys want us to talk about. We have some questions that we're going to answer, so keep watching if you're if you're on the playlist right now to the next video, and if you just clicked for news, thanks a bunch for watching. We sure appreciate it, and we will see you again next time. I am Captain Logan.
Remember?
Later, folks.